All right, we're starting to wake up here. Welcome back into the South Jersey Sports Report here on 97.3 ESPN. Your host, Sully from Glory Days Magazine. Check us out, glorydaysonline.com. Here along with my co-host, Nick Costco. Bringing you a bunch of high school basketball this morning, talking about the Seal Classic. And to talk more about that, we'd like to welcome in Holy Spirit boys head coach Jamie Gillespie. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Pretty good, man. I know it's a long weekend for you. You're kind of camped out there at Holy Spirit, but a great weekend for high school basketball. This is the second year of this tournament coming to Holy Spirit. What's it been like? What kind of things did you learn from last year that you can kind of tweak and do better this year?
Well, listen, it's a great event. We were excited to bring it back last year. We're probably more excited about this year because of the schedule that we've got. John Rodia with the Basketball Summit has done just a great job of creating a schedule which has some top-level teams, some competitive games, and there's always things that you'll look at in terms of process and things like that you can do better in terms of improving the experience for not only the teams but the people that attend. So there's some minor tweaks in those things, but overall it's really just about getting some good basketball teams in here. We have a venue here to watch games, and we're excited for the weekend.
Tell us about this guy called The Voice. He's bringing some energy to that gymnasium.
He sure is, right? So last night he was here. He was definitely here, and we heard him. He'll be back today for some games coming straight out of the Philadelphia area to bring some announcing energy to the facility.
He's awesome. I know Matt Ulmer was like, I'm going to hear that guy in my sleep tonight.
Yeah, he's awesome. But listen, you know this, we've also got one of the best in the business here, and that's Dennis Smith. So Dennis
without a doubt, sure.
Doing some games as well for us, and Dennis is obviously a part of the school here, but he is just a first-class announcer as well.
Coach, how excited is the whole Holy Spirit community about this event? I mean, you're talking about some of the real heavyweights in high school basketball in New Jersey. I think 6 of the top 20 teams coming in this weekend. So if you're a high school basketball fan, obviously Holy Spirit's the place to be this weekend, much like St. Augustine is with that Cancer Classic. So it's really gives a lot of notoriety to your school, and I'm sure brings a lot of energy around that gymnasium.
It sure does, and I think that the neat thing is for so many people who were part of it the first time around, whether it was like me as a player here and working the tournament, or whether you were a little older and you were following some of those great teams that played here, I think there's also that connection to our community as well, is that this was something that existed a couple decades ago, and for us to be able to bring it back is not only great for our school but great for the whole South Jersey basketball community.
Yeah, one of the cool things last night, myself and Nick were doing the live video stream play-by-play and color commentary for a couple of the games, and you kind of get to see some of the fans and interact there a little bit. We were talking to the young man Watkins' his grandfather from Elizabeth, telling us about DJ's parents, who were both great athletes at Elizabeth back in the 90s and all that kind of stuff, and talking to Samir Jones' dad, talking about his playing days at Pleasantville, how he was a 1,000-point scorer. His son's now on the verge of that. So it's bringing generations together, and you're seeing people come down from North Jersey to enjoy this really cool event.
It really is, and like I said, we couldn't be more excited. And Jen, just compliment John Rodio and Steve Selby and his group on the job they did putting together the slate, and really the excitement about it is growing. We're getting more teams calling to ask to play. We have a set number of games here, so unfortunately sometimes we got to turn away some teams. But that just speaks volumes as to what the tournament means around here, that people are calling us and wanting to get in it.
And also we're talking with Coach Jamie Gillespie, Holy Spirit boys basketball coach. And, Coach, one of the real cool things about this tournament is you incorporate some of the best girls teams, not only in South Jersey but the entire state. And you're looking at Mainland versus Gloucester Catholic today. I know Delsey's going to be there, Ocean City, Lenape. So kind of brings a little bit of the girls basketball flavor into it as well.
It sure does, and we were actually just here, our here practicing right now, and we were just here talking about that girls game coming up at 12 o'clock, that Mainland Gloucester Catholic game. I mean, what a great girls game, and our boys players were sitting around talking about it, and they're looking forward to seeing the matchup of those two marquee players, and so there's a lot of buzz around the girls games here as well.
Coach, how cool is that for the high school kids to get to see the other talent that's out there? I mean, some of your guys were hanging out last night during those games, and they get to see a guy like a GK from Camden Catholic. So many of these great players coming in from the Patrick School tonight, Camden. So they're going to see some of the best players in New Jersey, and that's got to be a cool experience for a 16-year-old kid on the varsity squad at Holy Spirit to see some of these guys who are going to go on to play high-level college ball. It's a neat thing to be able to be up close and be like, wow, these kids are good.
Yeah, it really is. And I give you an example. My son Gavin, who's a student and a player in our program here, was here at the game last night. And during the game, he's texting me, some things that he's seeing, with the Elizabeth team and that sort of stuff, and the Camden Catholic team. So it is a great experience for the kids to see and to see what high-level basketball looks like, in particular with some of the really high-level programs like Elizabeth, like the Patrick School, and Camden. And, there's just a great slate and some really good basketball to be played here this weekend.
Coach, how do you balance what you do there all weekend with trying to sneak a quick peek at some of these games? I know you got a lot of running around to do. What are some of the things that you, as the host coach, have to worry about this weekend?
Well, listen, there's obviously a lot going on, and our number one focus here is to make sure that our teams and our coaches that are here are well taken care of, and then you try and sneak a peek at some games here and there, but the number one priority is to make sure that everybody has a great experience here, and that's our goal. Got some other things to balance tomorrow from Holy Spirit side of things. Number one is we've got a game ourselves tomorrow night that we've got to prepare for against a really good Pleasantville team. And then you also maybe want to try and take a peek at the Eagles-Bears game at some point tomorrow, too. So there's a lot going on.
Yep. Coach, I got to definitely give a shout-out to your cooking crew over there. You guys do a great job with the hospitality room. What's on the menu today? Nick Costco wants to know what's for lunch.
Listen, I haven't seen it yet, but I can tell you it'll be good because there wasn't a day last year that it wasn't good, and you guys that were here last night, and they had a pretty good spread. So they're already here cooking, I can tell you that. I haven't been down there yet. But I promise you guys it'll be some good food for you.
It's a first-class spread. Makes it nice to hang around for 5-6 hours.
It's a full-fledged catering outfit going on.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man.
John Rodeo does not cut corners, that's for sure. So John does a terrific job with the tournament. And again, it's about making the experience a good one for everyone involved, and that includes our coaches, our media outlets, and everybody that's here. We want them to have a good experience, feel like they're well taken care of, and continue to build the tournament as we move forward.
That's how we judge the every single school. It's
the showcase events
based on the food spread. It was very impressive.
So we're gonna get a 5-star from the Costco dinner ratings.
Oh, without a doubt, for sure,
absolutely.
You guys should start a little magazine there in your media travels.
Hey, there we go. A little sidebar, Sully.
We can work that in.
Your own little Zaggett's book.
There you go. Talk with Coach Jamie Gillespie of the Holy Spirit boys basketball team. And, Coach, Pleasantville was all there last night in their warm-ups, kind of sending a message that, hey, we're ready for the Seagull Classic. And I'm sure your boys are ready, too. They had a great game last year. You guys were able to get a win against Pleasantville. They're going to be looking for some payback. That's a really good team. How much of that is going to keep you up tonight and trying to figure out how to stop those guys?
Well, this has been keeping me up for a couple days. So you get done one game on Thursday night, and as a coach, you quickly turn the page. So I haven't slept much the last 2 nights worrying about Pleasantville, and they've got a ton of athleticism. They've got a bunch of really good players. Butch is doing a great job with that team, and we've certainly got a huge challenge in front of us on Sunday night. And we're hopeful our kids are going to be able to step up and handle it. I think they are. We're excited for the opportunity. Pleasantville Holy Spirit used to be a great rivalry. We stopped playing when the conferences separated. It's nice to be playing them again on a yearly basis. So, this Seagull serves as a great opportunity for 2 schools that are literally miles apart to hook up and play some good basketball.
And, Coach, tell us a little bit more about your team. You guys have gotten off to a great start. You had a nice win over Ocean City this week, and that's a good team, that Ocean City squad. I saw them at the tip-off weekend. And so you guys are kind of flying under the radar a little bit, but I think people are going to start taking notice.
We'd prefer just to keep flying under that radar. We're off to a pretty good start. We're at 6-2 right now. And our 2 losses are to really good teams. We opened up at Wildwood Catholic, and then we lost to Mass Civics and Sciences down in Wildwood. but overall, we're happy with the way our kids are playing. But we also know that, it's just a small part of the year that's concluded at this point. We got a lot in front of us, starting with Sunday night. We got Atlantic City next week. We saw Southern play here last night. We've got them next weekend. We got a tough mainland team next Friday night. So our schedule doesn't get any easier. So the challenge for our guys is to just keep looking at it one game at a time and trying to tackle one game at a time and see if we can't get ourselves in the winning column each night.
Coach, how important, I should say, is the contributions of Isaiah Garena? Here's a kid who kind of brings that football mentality, big, strong tight end in the football team, comes in the basketball and gives you guys a little bit of a toughness on the low blocks there. And that's a kid, I've enjoyed watching his career unfold in both football and basketball, and really smart kid and a great kid to have around your program. And talk about him a little bit and what he's meant to have that presence. I know you guys usually have some good ball handlers, some good shooters, but to have somebody down low like that can kind of send a message to the other team that, hey, we're not going to get pushed around.
Yeah, Isaiah certainly brings that physical toughness from the football field onto the basketball court. He's a big, strong kid. You mentioned he's a really smart kid. Isaiah is a terrific student. He brings intelligence to the floor, but he also balances that with energy and toughness. You talk a little bit about him playing inside. He can also shoot the ball from the perimeter. He's hit 2 really big three-point shots for us. One was the other night against Ocean City with a little over 20 seconds left. And then down in Wildwood against the Mervo team from Baltimore, he hit a big 3 in overtime to give us ultimately what was the game-winning shot. So, he can stretch the floor for us a little bit, but can also score inside. And he's our leading rebounder, in our program right now because of his toughness.
And it's always nice to have another LaMonica. Any more of those guys coming up through the system?
I thought I heard somebody say on the broadcast the other night, it seems like for 20 years there's been a LaMonica here. But unfortunately, this is the last of them. They're a great family. Both Sam and Jake are real good kids and, have done a tremendous amount for our program. And Jake is really actually off to a terrific start this year. I got to double check the statistics, but I actually think he may be leading us in scoring. Him and Kalinowski are both up in that 16, 17, 18-point range. So Jake's having a great year for us, and, we're hopeful that he continues to shoot the ball the way he's been shooting it.
He was probably sick of his brother getting all the headlines last year.
Well, listen, anybody who's a younger brother knows that sometimes it's hard to live in your brother's shadow. But Sam's out of here right now, doing some great things up at St. Joe's in Philly, and Jake's here, having a great senior year for us.
Coach, real quick before we let you go, if there's anybody out there listening, give them a reason to stop by Holy Spirit this weekend. Obviously, you don't have to pitch it too hard. There's some great basketball going on, but if there's anybody out there driving around, look for something to do this weekend, make a quick pitch to them to come out and watch some great high school basketball.
Well, I'll start with this. I tell this to John Rodeo all the time. I think our venue here is the perfect venue for this type of event because the fans are close to the court. You can see and hear it all. The speed and the athleticism will be right in front of everybody. You've got a full slate of games today. For $8 to get in, you can't beat it. We're broken up into 2 sessions today with 3 or 4 games in the first session and then a couple after that. The big game tonight is Camden versus the Patrick School. You're going to see 2 real high-level teams with size, athleticism. You got St. Augustine playing today. But to me, what makes this tournament great is the venue because you're right on top of the court, not a bad seat in the house, and you can kind of feel the excitement when you're here.
Great stuff, Coach. We appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you're busy today. We'll see you out there in a couple hours, bud.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the hospitality room.
You got it, man. We'll be there around 11 o'clock.
All right, we'll be waiting your rating. See what you guys think today.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, guys.